got
Are you getting a nugget out of it?
like vanilla nougat. Say nugget or nougat? Chicken nugget? It's definitely got that golden nugget flavor. I mean, that taste, that smell.
Hello, and welcome everyone to episode 218 of the Mashup, the shortest bourbon conversation you're going to hear all week long. We're your hosts, Giggles, Kenny, and Steven.
Ah, that's great. Hey, welcome back.
Been a long time.
The guy wasn't on that. He forgot the intro.
I didn't know what to say.
I love it. We're keeping that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So how are you gentlemen doing? Nice to have you back, Steven.
Oh, thanks. I did my favorite thing today.
What did you do?
Shoveling ice.
Oh, yeah. Hey, my favorite too. Well, before we talk about that ice shoveling, I wanted to tell you something. I want to get reactions live on air.
Let's go.
And so, Kenny, as you know, Steven has been on hiatus, and we hope you enjoyed your vacation. But here's what I wanted to tell you. You're getting fined 50 cents with compounding interest for not having recorded.
Oh, God.
And I haven't figured out the total yet because 50 cents is such a small amount of money.
Or the rate of compound.
Or the rate of compounding. But no, I'm just kidding. It's nice to have you back. But let's go on with the snow here. So we are so dedicated to bringing you guys what you like to hear, which is our podcast, that even through snow and ice, we decided to get together to record this short for you after a massive snowstorm.
Yeah, it is. I feel like I got ran over by a truck again. A couple weeks ago, I woke up sick, feeling like I ran over by a truck. And now I just shovel for like 5 hours straight. And even after a hot shower and an Epsom bath, boy, I tell you what, this old man is hurting. This old man is hurting.
Hot shower and Epsom bath. You're like, what are you, 95?
I got my Noxema on too.
I wonder what that smell was.
Golden Girls on TV.
That's great. Freaking A, dude. Well, yeah. Steven, how did you fare with your shoveling with that treacherous slope you got up a driveway?
Yeah. Well, it's my second time shoveling.
Oh, yeah?
I did it, I think, 2 days ago to get that first 5 or 6 inches of snow off.
Uh-huh.
And then I had 2 days to deal with.
Yeah.
Got that hour and a half. It wasn't as bad as Kenny.
Did you leave the house at all? Did you go anywhere
No.
or just shovel?
To shovel.
Yeah, I'm a moron. You know what I did? I shoveled, and then I like to go explore. That's what I do. So like they're like, stay off the roads. And like if I can get this vehicle out of the driveway, I'm going driving around just to see what it looks like.
So it's total wine open.
I just want to know how you made it up your stupid hill.
I know that Volkswagen, that German engineering, got me right up the hill there. But yeah, no, I went exploring, but nothing was opened. It was pretty uneventful. And about, I would say, a mile and a half into the trip, I was like, this is a bad idea. And turn around and go back home.
Very long.
Yeah, but
I didn't go anywhere. Just shoveled our house and the neighbor's house.
So this is the first time we've seen each other in a while, and then after the snowstorm, we haven't seen anybody but the people that we live with. So it's nice to see you guys. So for this week's short, we have a sample that was given to us by a listener from Texas, Mr. Ryan. Ryan had previously sponsored our blinds. You guys remember that episode, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a fun one. And so he had sent a bunch of other samples, and there was this one that I really wanted to get into. So let's jump right into it. This that we have tonight is the Prideful Goat 15-year Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. The distillery is Giant Texas Distillers in Houston, Texas. I think it used to be called Gulf Coast Distillers. The bottle date is 2022, I believe. The ABV is 57.5 or 115 proof. The age, of course, is 15 years. The mash bill is 78.5% corn, 13% rye, and 8.5% malted barley. And the MSRP on this, I believe the first release was $100. And now the MSRP, or the most recent batch, I don't think they have any more batches, but this was batch number 4 that Ryan gave us. I think the MSRP was between $125 and $140. So, Kenny, you'll know this. This whiskey is from the time when all that toted Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey was floating around, and I don't know if anybody decided where that came from, whether it was Heaven Hill or Beam.
It has been discussed.
Yes.
That it is an experimental mash bill or something from Beam.
From Beam, okay.
Beam, yeah.
All right. Well, I know that we're just saying that, but I know that there's a lot of discussion on whether or not that's actually the case of where it came from. So a lot of people on the Reddit boards and other places still want to believe somehow that it might be Heaven Hill. But
they can believe incorrectly, but yes, that's fine.
Believe incorrectly. There you go. Anyway, do you guys know anything about Prideful Goat while we're nosing here? I'll just
Never
tell you
heard
a
of
little
him.
bit. You never heard of him?
I don't.
There you go. Well, I'm not going to go through their whole brand statement here. They have a pretty lengthy brand statement I put down for you guys. We're looking at show notes, but basically they go with this whole goat herd aspect thing, and they talk about standing tall and prideful and all this other stuff. It's pretty interesting, but what I want to tell you guys is this whiskey brand was co-founded by Christopher Hart, who's with Houston Bourbon Society, and Randy Sullivan with Bourbon Real Talk. I believe right now it's wholly owned by Randy Sullivan. I don't think Chris is part of it anymore, Christopher Hart. But the way this came about was Randy was hanging out at Gulf Coast Distillers, and they said, try this 15-year-old Kentucky bourbon that we have. He tasted it, and he was like, oh, this is really good. If I want to do a single barrel pick of this, could I? And they're like, sure. Then a couple other people were like, we want to do single barrel picks as well. And then Gulf Coast Distillers called him and were like, hey, actually, this is not in barrels, it's in totes. So they're like, there's about 1,200 bottles per tote, right? And so once that happened, he was like, oh, well, let's start a whiskey brand. And that's kind of how Prideful Goat got started, was on the back of this 15-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I was kind of joking earlier about they could be wrong. I mean, it's rumored to be more Beam, but it still could be anything. So, not anything, but, Kentucky, 15 years old.
Right.
Heaven Hill or Beam, most likely. But Beam is what the general consensus is.
The nose is giving off quite a bit of ethanol to me. I mean, I don't know. But the actual nosing of it, pretty classic. Can get some oak in there, a little bit of peanut maybe.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch, yeah. It's got
Are
some,
you getting a nugget out of it?
like vanilla nougat. Say nugget or nougat? Chicken nugget? It's definitely got that golden nugget flavor. I mean, that taste, that smell.
Now, is it from McDonald's?
Yeah, there could be.
Yeah, McDonald's, man, it's like, never mind. I'm not going to say it. Might have some listeners that own some franchises or something, so.
Oh, really?
Don't want to offend them.
Okay. Well, we won't say anything bad about McDonald's then.
I was going to say that their actual ingredients list is like Woodford's tasting notes, 200-something freaking ingredients in anything you eat there.
Oh, their chefs have a wide lot of ingredients, Dad.
I like that we're treating this with the respect it deserves on this short, talking about McDonald's and everything. Got Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, 15-year-old in your glass.
It tastes good.
What are you getting out of it? Anybody, guy? I just started tasting a little bit too, and it's interesting.
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
I don't get a deep caramel or a deep vanilla, anything like that.
No.
I don't get super oaky.
I get like a little bit of that. It's a different kind of a thing, but it's almost like a little bit of cherry, and a little bit more fruit. If this is experimental Beam, let's just say it is, it tastes not like traditional Beam to me. So that's actually pretty good, because I like to not have something that's going to taste like traditional Beam. Yeah. You know what? Did you taste a lot of those 15-year-old releases when they came out that were coming up on like Chicken Cock? I think Kentucky Senator had some.
Well, here's
a lot
the thing.
of people had it.
For Kentucky Senator,
right?
Damon.
We did taste that.
Well, Damon told us it was Beam.
He did tell us that. That's
so,
right.
I mean, it should all, that's what I'm saying. All that whole era of stuff popped up is Beam. I mean, it just is.
It's funny. As I was saying that, I'm like, wait a minute, we tasted that. And when we had the man right here, he said that. So, that's right. And theirs was really good, too. I remember that. And so I think I still like theirs a little bit better, but wasn't it higher proof than this? I think it was higher proof.
Theirs is the 107 on everything, right?
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
lower
because
remember that's what they talk about. The
yeah, that's
107.
right. I liked it, and I think it was lower proof. Huh? How about that? So, did you guys see the label and the bottle for this? Did you guys see that at all?
Yeah,
What do you think about it? I mean, is it eye catching to you? Or does it just kind of look like a regular old?
I don't know if I'm digging the goat.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely unique. I mean, I've never seen anything like it, but it's kind of a little bit.
I mean, there are other brands that use animals, right? We got the chicken cock.
Yeah, you like the cock better than the goat?
He's the greatest of all time, right?
He is. That's right. Greatest of all time is better than it. Sorry, I need to get myself together over here.
Well, I remember when that dropped.
Yeah,
and it hit secondary everywhere. And everyone was like 15-year Heaven Hill, and
Right.
price was up there, kind of high at first. And then it came out that it wasn't really Heaven Hill, and then prices dropped back down to where they really should be.
Right. So what I think is interesting is that Randy Sullivan is the proprietor of this whiskey. And you guys know Bourbon Real Talk, right? Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I almost got booed from there a few times.
Yeah.
What's this about?
They are not friendly when it comes to like making fun of other people.
You can't. So, do you know?
I mean, it's like, come on, man. I'm not being rude or vulgar. It's like funny, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But they were nice about it when they messaged me. They were like, hey, keep this as I don't know if they said use safe space or I'm just making that up. But they were
Right.
like, keep it friendly, keep it this, keep it that, blah blah. And I was like, oh yeah, my fault, Just talking to that person like I talk to all my buddies,
Right. So there's a massive Facebook community, and it's a podcast, right? And so Bourbon Real Talk's a podcast, massive Facebook community. Now he owns this whiskey brand, everything else. But they pride themselves, prideful, on making it so everyone feels welcome. As Kenny, thrashing people in there, and he almost gets booted. I think I actually have maybe didn't realize that when I first got in there too, and said something, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, got to cool my jets here. So that's a cool thing that they got going with that group. But then Randall Sullivan releases a recent podcast episode saying our whiskey tuber is full of SHIT ? And I'm like, that's not very friendly. I'm like, but anyway, I listened.
They're two separate things. Right?
I know it's
the
two
group
separate
and then the
things.
podcast.
Yeah, it's true. But I listen, and plus, if you're on a podcast like this, or you're on a whiskey tube, then you're a public person. I think you're fair game at that point, right? You're a different class of citizen than the regular Facebook person.
Much better.
Much better, yeah, of course. Exalted, if you will. But I thought that was kind of funny that they're always like welcoming and all about inclusivity and everything. And then that was the title of the episode. I listened to it. It wasn't all that bad. He didn't really say anything bad on anybody, but I was like clickbait-ish. I don't know. And also kind of not in line with the whole community standards. But anyway, back to this whiskey.
So 125 to 140 is what these go for at MSRP.
Yeah, the very first release I think was coming out at $100, but it was only available in Texas, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's the most price conscious release." 15-year-old, great. It got like roundly applauded for being released at such a good cost, and I think they went up a little bit incrementally.
So you guys said there were a lot of 15-year bottles that dropped, right? What were the prices of the other ones compared to this?
Way more.
Yeah, way more. Yeah.
Chicken cock was what, $2.99?
Yeah, some of them were way up there.
$1.99, $2.99, $1.99.
I think it was $2.99.
Kentucky Standard was at least $1.99
I
or
think
more
so.
for the 15-year.
Yeah.
So this is the cheapest of the ones that dropped?
Yeah.
I think that's why it got so much praise, because it was the cheapest of the ones that dropped. But this is batch 4. I think that may have been the final batch. I don't think they have any more, because if you look up 15-year Prideful Goat, it says sold out everywhere. Okay. And so when I actually asked Ryan for, I said, can you send us a picture of the bottle? And he did. It was a batch 4. So, yeah.
I taste microplastics.
Really?
So is this a prime you're drinking?
That's where it was toted. I'm teasing, though. I'm teasing.
No, there's no. Hey, I guess there's microplastic in everything, right?
Dude, what am I drinking out of right here?
Yeah.
Freaking plastic cup.
There you go.
I've got enough.
You got any more? You need any more? Okay.
I'm good.
You guys are good.
Yep.
I poured myself just a little bit here, so I had to go back for a second time.
Little
nip.
Yeah, someone's got to drive home in the ice. So,
Yeah, Anthony.
small pours.
Wonderful. So, yeah, to finish up, the palate's got like I would kind of call it like a peanut butter jelly with like a sharp finish and a little bit of
That's what it is. It's a sharp
oak.
finish.
It's a sharp finish, yeah. I don't know what's causing that. I don't know if it's just the oak, but it's like, it's not a mellow oak. It actually, the oak kind of reminds me of some of the severeness of Beam.
But does that just kind of overtake the finish, though?
A little bit. I don't know.
And that's what's weird, I guess. I don't get like oakiness like I get on like a Smooth Ambler 14, 15 year or something like that. But maybe that oak is just a stringency.
I think it is a little bit astringent, yeah. Yeah, that finish is making it a little difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it's a long finish.
It sure is. So, guys, would you pass, try, or buy on the Prideful Goat 15-year Kentucky bourbon whiskey?
I'm going to go first on this one. I'm even going to ask you guys. It's hard for me on this because there was so much of that 15-year-old juice released, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think I bought hardly any of it. I may have inadvertently bought some of it. I liked Kentucky Senator's 15-year-old better than this. And I mean, we didn't do pass, try, buy on that, but like, seriously, if I see a bottle of that, I might buy it if it's priced reasonably, because I think there might be a couple bottles sitting around somewhere, and I liked my interaction with Damon and Andre. So I don't know if it's that's pulling me that direction, but I think that for value-wise, I know it is 15-year-old bourbon. If it was released tomorrow, it probably would be $200 all day. I'm probably going to be a try to a pass. There's just not enough uniqueness for me. And if I got to put a plant a flag here, I will be persuaded by you gentlemen, but I'm between a try and a pass right now.
It is nothing. It's good, but there's nothing that makes me want to go back to it. So if I own that bottle, I wouldn't like go drink it again. And just in my opinion, you can get some $69 to $79 Elijah Craig barrel proofs that are better than that.
Right.
So I'm gonna be a pass. But same thing. When those 15 years were dropping, I tried a few of those at J-Hob.
Right.
And after trying them, I never bought any of them.
Okay.
I don't know if this is that mash bill, that experimental mash bill or something, just sitting in my jam or what, but I'm going to be a pass.
Okay.
So Kenny hit something that you're spending $200 on this bottle, right?
Oh, this is 125.
Okay.
125 to 150.
Right. Well, yeah. But he said something that you're not really going to pull for this because there's nothing really special about it.
Right.
To me, anyway, the palate, I didn't enjoy it, and that sharpness is kind of overtaking.
Right.
I was thinking a try, but I mean, Kenny's right. You can go get yourself a Elijah Craig.
Well, if you guys are going to do that to me, then I can't stay a try. I have to be fully...
Be true to yourself.
No, you know what's funny, though? When I hear you guys say that and talk about the whiskeys that we would all probably prefer over this, maybe that's the thing with 2025. Got to be a little bit more discerning. And Kenny talked about wanting to start using a ranking system. We might have to implement that soon.
We have to score this tonight.
We have to score it?
about that. We don't have to score it tonight on the pod, but when we get done, we actually need to score this. I forgot about that. Yep.
Yeah. We're going to have to do that because we want to keep a tally of the things that we're doing. So we're not just going to pass, try, buy anymore. We're going to introduce rankings as well. And so I think if I think about the tastings that we're doing coming up on the best of 2024, all the stuff I've tasted, what you guys said, I'm also going to complete the trifecta and say I'm a pass. I do think it's a great way to start a brand, though, with 15-year-old Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey
at a much lower price than what other
that everyone
brands put out.
Right. So I give tremendous respect for that. And then you know what else? Prideful Goat has got a bunch of other SKUs, right? They do like a 6-year rye. They source stuff from MGP, other places like that. And so I think there's other things to try from them, but this just, for me, it isn't it, even though I deeply appreciate Ryan for sharing this with us.
Yeah.
I did have a 6-year rye that was actually pretty good.
Oh, you did? Okay. There you go. Well, perfect.
Boom.
And with that, thanks for listening to this episode.
Please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Mashup KY.
Don't forget to visit our partner, bourbonoutfitter.com. Enter code The Mashup for a special discount.
Also,
head on over to our partner, the Woodwork Collective, at woodworkcollective.shop. Enter code MASHUP for a 15% discount.
let us know your thoughts on this bottle in the comment section. Until next time, keep it neat.